All right, guys, so I hope you're all staying warm. Here in the Northeast, we are getting crushed. It is, freezing out. I am just starting to get a little bit healthy. The motivation to make videos kind of tapered out a little bit. And, when you're sick, you don't really want to make videos. But you know what? I'm starting to get better. And we'll continue back to making videos and such. Now the question that I continuously keep getting asked is, how would the 397 stack up against the 392? And I'm fortunate enough to be documenting a 392 build on my channel that's owned by my buddy Peter. He has a 2019 Scatpack, and it has a full bolt-on, everything bolt-on. Okay, it has long tube headers, high flow cats. It has a hellcat throttle body, intake, T-stat, ported manifold. So it features a lot of the basic bolt-ons that you could do to your 392. And the best part about it is that it's the same dyno that I'm using for the 397, so it's kind of an apples to apples comparison. I know a lot of these, the guys out there in the comments section, they use different dynos and they see different numbers, so it's really hard to, kind of compare the two, because it's two different settings, two different dynos, two different whatever. So this is a really close comparison between the two. And what you'll notice is that the 392 with a full bolt-on is putting down about 450 wheel horsepower. Okay, I believe that was his peak wheel horsepower. He continued running and was in the 445, 450 range, which is right around where I am with the 397. Now the difference, I believe, between the two is actually the torque. In the 392 full bolt-on, he was able to get 440, okay? And with the 397, we're at about 455. So, there's about 15 pounds of torque between the two. Now, I know that that's not a huge difference, and believe me, when the two line up, it should be a close race, if the drivers are fairly competent and equal. It's really just a driver's race. And so that brings up the next point, is that the 397 has a lot more invested in it than the 392, which is 100% accurate. The 392 with a few bolt-ons and putting up that kind of power in comparison to a fully forged and cammed 397 is impressive. But always remember this, that the cam is meant for forced air, so it's really not a naturally aspirated cam, and also too, the compression of the two are totally different. Where you'll see the biggest jump is if you took the full bolt-on 392 and gave it forced air, and then where you give the 397 forced air, there's going to be basically about 100 wheel horsepower gap between the two, because the 397 can run a much higher boost than the 392. So that's really where you compare, kind of stack up against each other. I mean, I'm going to be running the 397 in a naturally aspirated form for a little while. I don't see myself not racing other people. The problem with the lining up the 392 races is that everyone around me does not. They have basically stock 392s. The furthest most people go is exhaust work, mid-muffler deletes, resonator deletes. Very few people with 392 that I know tune them, put long tube headers, throttle bodies on it. So, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I used to have a 392 buddy that would consistently, kind of crush me in races, but he went ahead and, traded that in. So, I don't know really know what the game plan is for that, but I will certainly get you that content. We will line the two up and actually see it happen. But you know what, guys, the dyno, I feel like, takes away a lot of driver error. It takes away driver inequality, and it basically just gives you the statistics. It gives you the stats, the potential of the vehicle. Always keep this in mind too as well. The Charger still does not have limited slip, so that's always a big advantage on the Scatpack, that it has you know, that limited slip. I have open diff, so, you know, keep that in mind. So, you know, I think the 397 could hold its own against a full bolt-on 392. A stock Scat Pack on that same dyno is in the area of 420 to 430 wheel horsepower. It depends, you know, like I think a lot of people say that it's stock and it really has like a mid muffler delete and a throttle body or something like that, and you know that it's not really stock, okay? I don't know where I left off. I lost my train of thought here. But you know what, guys? I hope that helps. I'm going to be lining up some races. As you guys know, you know, like, looking back on my videos, there's tons of races. It's not like I'm shy about doing it. It's just a matter of opportunity. You know, that's really the comparison between the two. Again, you got to go out there. You got to actually line up. You got to see how they stack up. I will tell you that this thing pulls hard. There is definitely a huge difference between this setup and my prior setup when I was on the highway. This thing roasts tires so easily. It's just insane. The difference, like adding 50 wheel horsepower and 50, you know, pounds of torque to the ground is extremely noticeable. So really, that's the feedback that I have for you guys. I really appreciate the support. We are going to see this thing in action hopefully soon. You know, the weather needs to pick up. I am not interested in ruining my car or anything like that. So all right, guys, thank you very much for the support. Stay warm, don't get sick, and yeah, I really appreciate. That's it. I just appreciate. All right, guys, I'll check you on the next upload.